You are being manipulated. What you are watching in LA is political theater to justify a crackdown on blue cities and states, a crackdown that was always planned. What we're seeing in LA is not an isolated or organic incident. It is something Donald Trump and Stephen Miller have been planning to do across the country, New York, Chicago, Houston, Atlanta, because this isn't about safety. It's about control. The force we are seeing being unleashed on Los Angeles, the city where I live, by the way, is not an honest reaction to a developing situation, but an instigation and then justification of something pre-planned. Before the administration caused this problem by sending ICE in to terrorize our communities, to invade our city and deny people their right to due process, essentially initiating extrajudicial kidnappings of people and horrific cruel separations of children from their parents, LA was doing just fine. We live in community with one another. Over 35% of our population are immigrants, with 64% of them coming from Latin America, primarily Mexico, which of course makes sense because California used to belong to Mexico. Los Angeles itself is a Spanish name. Our streets, our culture, it's all very Latin. So to claim that our neighbors and our friends and our families are criminals and drug dealers and rapists when you are ambushing people at immigration courts to arrest mothers and Home Depots to round up handymen and elementary schools to take children away is outrageous.
Oh, it's not funny. It's really not funny. I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's just very ironic and crazy how can I say this? Throughout the election, I saw so many Cubans, Venezuelan, a bunch of Latinos saying with their whole chest, not voting for Kamala. There was this guy even that he was getting harassed by his neighbor that didn't even want him around, but he carried his Trump flag, proud to vote for Trump. But I just wanted to come out here and let them know and ask if they have seen Trump's plan. Have they seen who Trump have elected to run the immigration and his plan for the mass deportation?
I love how all the Latinos for Trump, like at least the people who I know and follow on Instagram and know personally, are now radio silent. Radio silent. That now post. You're seeing my posts that they're in our city. You're seeing my posts about, or other people's posts that they're down the street from where you live. This is what you voted for. What do you mean this is? I voted for him to take out the No, you didn't. You're really dumb if you really thought that's what you were voting for. He stood in front of banners ever since 2015, like banners that said mass deportation now. Instant, he said. He said it was quick. It was going to be do whatever it took. This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. And you feel good? You went to church on Sunday and still feeling good about yourself? The evil, the terror. This is not propaganda, honey. This is real life. This is what's happening in real time. People are peacefully protesting and being urged into chaos, pushed into it. This is what our proud servicemen and women are supposed to come and now police our streets from exercising First Amendment rights. The math isn't mathing for me.
So on MSNBC TikTok of this Latino man talking about how he was pulled over by ICE and they didn't even ask for his ID, and then when they saw he had a real ID they let him go, but he was like handcuffed and everything. And then in the interview he's like, I voted for Trump, but I didn't think, like, I thought they were just gonna go after the criminals. Babe, don't you know, in their eyes we're all criminals.
So now I'm seeing all these videos of Mexican Americans crying about how they regret voting for Trump. And honestly, I can't feel bad for you, because when we told you this would happen, you didn't listen. When it was just theoretical, it was easy to ignore. But now that your undocumented family is at risk, now that your kids are being targeted, or the kids in your circles, now that they're coming for you, now it's a problem. Listen, I get it. I have family who voted for him too. And I won't lie, it makes it very hard to process. It sometimes even makes it hard to talk to them, because how am I supposed to be okay with that? I have undocumented family. I have a trans sibling. Trump's policies directly hurt people I love. So when I see our own people supporting him, it feels like a slap in the face. And I keep asking myself, why? How did this happen? This man called Mexicans rapists. He bragged about deporting families. He made racial profiling and hate cool again. And still, some of you voted for him. And now, reality is hitting. Oklahoma just passed a law requiring parents to prove citizenship to enroll their kids in school. Texas is next. Who do you think they're coming for? Not white, undocumented Europeans, Latinos. And now some of you are shocked. What did you think was going to happen? That they'd make an exception for you? That you're somehow a good immigrant? That Trump actually cared about Latinos? Be serious. I know some of you are going to defend your stance with, like, well, my family voted for him because they don't like socialism. They care about small businesses. They're conservative. They're religious. Okay. But at what cost? At the cost of our people being deported? At the cost of our kids being denied education? At the cost of our community being unsafe? And so now you're feeling the consequences and you want us to feel sorry for you. No. I'm saving my sympathy for the people who didn't vote against their own families. It's exhausting. We tried to tell you, but if you voted for Trump and regret it, sit with that, reflect on it.
Let me start with this. If they're detaining U.S. Marshals and 9-year-olds in the same sweep, we're not safe. None of us. Because ICE just grabbed Kapi Lame, a global celebrity from TikTok fame, in Vegas. They grabbed him in Vegas because he was Black, because he could be taken. And he's lucky it only ended with embarrassment, because others, they vanish. This isn't 2019. This isn't family separations at the border. This is LA, downtown, Eastside, Torrance, San Pedro. A 9-year-old was arrested after school in front of classmates. Not detained, arrested. A child. Arrested. Families were locked in a courthouse basement for over 12 hours with no food, no water, and babies crying in the dark. A U.S. Marshal, one of their own, was cuffed and dragged off in Arizona because his skin color didn't match the badge. You can't tell me that this isn't a racial purge disguised as enforcement. So let's talk about the Gestapo. You've heard the name, but maybe not the tactics. Because this is textbook. No warning, no warrants, no explanation. Plainclothes agents, mass disappearances, and children, babies, being turned into leverage. The Gestapo wasn't scary just because of their uniforms. They were terrifying because they answered to no one. That's ICE now. That's DHS now. And that's what's happening in our cities right now. And if that wasn't enough, 2,000 National Guard troops were dropped off in LA. Not for wildfires, not for disaster relief, but to make sure order is maintained while families are being kidnapped. They're using riot gear and tear gas on undocumented people who showed up for check-ins. Not criminals, not gang members, mothers, fathers, caregivers, kids. Tell me again how this isn't about race. Tell me again how this isn't about power. Tell me again how this is legal. They're dragging people out of schools, homes, courthouses. And it's not just happening to immigrants, it's happening to anybody who looks deportable, which really means if you're not white, you're a target. If you don't have status, you're disposable. And if you look like somebody without papers, you're vulnerable. And nobody's coming to save you. Listen, I know this is heavy. I know you're tired. I know you've been surviving, barely. But this is state terror. Full stop. And I'm not here to say fight back or call your reps, because some of y'all have been doing that for years. I'm here to say you matter. You're not alone. And if they come for you, they come for all of us. Because this country has never needed a reason to hurt us. Only a system that lets it happen in plain sight. And now you're watching it, you can't unsee it. So don't tell me it's not that bad. Tell that to the kids crying in the courthouse basements. Tell that to the mothers calling out names in detention centers. Tell that to your neighbors before they're gone. ICE isn't keeping us safe. They're making sure that we never feel safe again. And if this isn't the modern day Gestapo, then history lied to us. And y'all know damn well it didn't. Let me start.
Modern day Gestapo. This is what we have here. We have ICE dragnetting the city of Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta, all on the say of this administration. People will lose their lives. People will starve. people will be deported to Guantanamo Bay. And if you don't know what Guantanamo Bay is, it is a holding facility for the hardened criminals in Cuba. Guantanamo Bay is in Cuba. So for those of you who don't know what Guantanamo Bay is, it's a U.S. naval base and a military detention facility situated in Guantanamo province near the town of Caminari. It is in Cuba. It is controlled by the United States. This is where the first set of detainees from California and maybe other parts, this is where the first plane landed this evening, carrying detainees, legal and illegal immigrants. This has what it has come to. They're taking them to Guantanamo Bay, where we used to house the hardened of hard criminals across the world that we captured and tortured. This is where they are taking people who they are just grabbing off the street. This is unacceptable. It will continue unless we stand up as a nation, as a people, and say we do not want this. Now, it takes a special human being not to be touched by the images that we have seen on TV. It takes a special person to say, yes, that's what I wanted. And a lot of you have said, no, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I voted for. But yes, you did. Now, we are here. We are here. So what do you plan to do about it? What do you plan to sacrifice in order for us to turn this around? We have to do something. Protest, get on social media and inform people, let them know where to go, to let them know what to take. You should have your papers. You should have all your documents with you whenever you travel, just in case you get caught in a raid. This is what we're recommending. This is what we hope will help the people of Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Atlanta. They are hitting all of the bigger cities. Miami was first, I think, and now we're going across the country. So it's not something that's going to stop unless we stop it, unless we stand up and say, we don't want this anymore. And it's okay that you made a mistake. Please admit your mistake and then do something about it. You let your hatred or you let your racism override your sense of preservation. I get it. Because you didn't expect it to go this far. Now, it's time to autocorrect. It's time to turn it around. We, as Black people, understand the struggle that you're going through as a brown people. And I see a lot of people on here who say, well, why won't they help us? Why won't you Black people? Because we did our part on November 5th. We want to see what you can do for yourself. We want to see if you're willing to put it all on the line, put your bodies on the line, put your thoughts, your processes on the line, put your hatred back into your pocket, your hatred of brown people, your hate of other people like you, your hatred of Black people like me, and see if you're willing to fight for all of us. Not just your people, fight for all of us. And I understand at the forefront is your people, but this fight is a fight that we all should have been fighting for. Black, brown, and white. Now we're here. Now it's time to go. This is go time. Let's see what you Latinos can do or want to do to end this.
Raise your hand. God bless America. God bless America.